We can just also tell you a little bit about Devant. So Devant, probably you're all familiar with, right? So what we do is we help students and graduates to get hired in Canada. As you can see on the PowerPoint, we have worked with over 48,000 job seekers from across Canada. We have hosted over 500 events since 2019, and we have worked and partnered with 30 plus Canadian employers who have active job opportunities. Definitely, like check the Devant page. If you already have a profile, there are like so many free tools that you can use that can help you with your job search. So today's session this is one of my favorite sessions because we can talk about anything job search related. Like I said, please ask any questions that you have about anything like job search, resume, cover letter, interviews, LinkedIn networking. We are here to answer the question and hopefully provide you with some helpful advice. Okay, Mankirat, I think you raised your hand.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
everyone.
Hi.
Yeah. Actually, my question is that in this session, would you be able to help us in evaluating our resume? Because we are like applying for the jobs, and I'm personally looking for co-op. So I just want my resume to be evaluated by someone. So would you help us in that?
So we cannot evaluate the resume right now, but Devant has professionals that can help you with your resume. Also check the events and see the reviewing the resume, I think like workshop. So in that workshop, we ask all of the participants to send their resume so we can do evaluation during the session. But at this time, we cannot do that because it will take a lot of time. And this session, it's more about like answering questions. So what I can help tell you about the resume is make sure that you get help to somebody to review the resume, like a resume professional specialist that can review the resume, provide you with some advice. Couple of things to include on the resume that I can share with everybody. It's make sure that I believe in that 2-page resume. It's kind of like a perfect it's like a perfect thing to have. And the first page, you can include summary, then you can include your accomplishments. Then the third section should be skill section, and then your most recent education. So that should be the first page. And then second page is adding the rest of your experience, and then education. If you're currently in school and you're enrolled in a program and you will be recently graduating, I would advise your education to be on the front page, on the first page of your resume. So when the recruiters or the hiring managers will review your resume, they will see that you're a new grad. And then if you have experience, previous experience, that will be amazing. It will open more doors for you. Another advice that I have for everybody is please to review the job description and highlight the keywords and then include those keywords in your resume. I'm not saying to add keywords or add skills that you don't have, right? Make sure when you review the job description that you're adding the skills from the job description in the resume and you have those skills, okay? Because we don't want to lie on the resume. So that's another advice that I have for everybody. Make sure that you tailor your resume according to the job description, because a lot of companies use ATS or applicant tracking systems. And if you don't include some of the keywords that are listed in the job description, your resume might get rejected and not even be sent to the hiring manager to review it. ATS, it's very tricky. There's a lot of advice and tips and tricks online. And I would say read a lot of articles, try to see what other people are saying, because it's very tricky to pass, the ATS. You need to make sure that you kind of highlight everything, including a job description, and those might not be the words that the recruiter have inputted as a criteria for you to for the resume to be sent to them. So those are a couple of things. But if you think that somebody needs to review your resume, please ask for career consultants or a resume specialist. They can help you. I also advise after you see a resume specialist, talk to your friends, have another somebody else to review your resume. It's a nice thing to get different perspectives, because everybody have a different opinion about resume. So it's good to hear what everybody has to say and then pick whatever works best for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries.
I see we have a question in the chat here. I'll go ahead and read it out. So it says, is it true that summer months are usually slow as a hiring season, as many hiring managers are away for vacation? Do you foresee an improvement in the market after summer as compared to the previous months? And they heard that it was particularly hard to get a job in the first half of 2024.
To be honest, like really depends. The market right now, it's changing so fast. Like if we talk like pre-COVID, January was the best month in February for like hiring, just because end of the year, like then in January, people know like what is their budget, how many roles they can open. It was like a really good time for hiring. I think this year was a little bit different because everybody was like everything was steady. People didn't want to move to a different role. Companies were not hiring, and I don't think there is like a thing that will happen again. I feel like it's like I feel like there's like it's work-life crisis, right? Like there's like crisis everywhere. There are not a lot of like job openings, but I'm seeing the market is changing. So over the summer, if people have to hire, they're going to hire. I think like I've seen like now a lot of postings up. So to be honest, like the market is changing so fast this year. So it's so hard to predict what is going to happen. So my advice is just like keep applying and don't listen to, oh, it's slow. Like you will see like when it's slow, because if there are no any new postings and you applied like everywhere, you know that it's slow. But if every day like something new is coming up, then you're like, okay, like it's good, like new roles are opening. So just keep applying, and you will know how the market, like what is happening. But like right now, I think the market picked up, so which is really good. I've seen like a lot of new job openings. So just like try to be everywhere, like LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, Job Bank, like reach out to people. Do not just rely on one or two job boards, because if you just rely on Indeed and LinkedIn, then like you will exhaust like all of the options that you have in there, because you will apply to all of the job postings. So yes, like people go on vacation, but like the recruitment process like continues, because if the manager is not here, they have an assistant, they have a coordinator that can support recruitment while they're on vacation.
Perfect. There's another question in the chat. So they're asking, is there a portal that connects us with the companies? Can we find co-ops from this? And then about the cover letter, should we mention it that we're looking for co-ops? And if we happen to get a full-time job, should we tell them that it's for co-op and then continue working full-time? So I can go ahead and answer this one. So in terms of portals for companies, I know that there are sometimes industry-specific job portals. So you will just have to do your research on that depending on the type of role that you're aiming for. If you're seeking a co-op opportunity, I believe you will have to disclose that to the employer. I know sometimes if you're in a program, there's like a liaison, like a co-op, the person who's in charge of kind of the middle person of the student and the employer, and they're just ensuring everything is moving along fine. I believe they will need to be involved a little bit as well, just in terms of any possible evaluations, any issues that may arise. So yes, I do believe that you would have to disclose that you are seeking co-op, and if you do happen to find employment, they would need to know that this is for the purpose of a co-op. So yeah, please ensure that you do mention that in your cover letter. And if you're not already on LinkedIn, that's a great way to start. I'm seeing tons of opportunities for now fall internships. So I was seeing a lot coming up for spring and summer, but those have already been filled and are probably finishing up sometime next month. So if you're looking for a fall internship or co-op, now is definitely the time to get started.
Perfect. And I just want to add, if your co-op is linked to your program, if you don't get the credits, you're not going to graduate. So like you need to make sure like that, like you tell them. So like Tiffany said, there's like a co-op coordinator that will like send evaluations to the manager, and the manager will evaluate you. And both based on those evaluations, they can determine either like if you passed the co-op or you didn't. So like it is like very important to do that, especially if it's linked to your program. If you're just like looking for a co-op to gain experience, then like you don't have to like say, oh, I'm looking for a co-op. You can just like go like and apply for a job, right? But like if that co-op it's linked to your program and it's a requirement for you to have a co-op and you meet like a certain amount of hours for you to graduate, make sure that like you list that everywhere in the cover letter, in the resume, when you send emails to people.
Perfect. We have another question as well. And it is, where do I get a list of companies to apply for that are not on LinkedIn and Indeed?
That is a really good question. And this is something that everybody should do when they're looking for a job. So what I would start is with companies within your area. You can even like Google them, or if you go for a walk, like see what it's out there and try to find them on like try to find their website first, see if they have anything posted on the website. If not, try to Google and see if you can find the person that it's like the hiring manager, or like they have like in like receptionist sometimes, because they will get the resumes, and try to email them. So I would say don't like, if you Google maybe like a list of companies in Toronto, you might get like lists, right? Like from people that like, I don't know, like they posted on Google. But like my advice is, especially if you want to find something close to home, or maybe you can kind of like divide areas. Like if you, let's say you live downtown, like go to different areas and see like what is out there, and then apply, right? Like Google, it's kind of like your best friend, where you just like go on Google, like like open maps, and then see like when you like zoom, see like what companies are out there. So you can just like put like keywords and then find like different companies. If you want to work in a specific sector, you can even type that on Google and it will show the companies in your area. So even if you know like where they can find the list, like feel free to jump in. But like I don't think like there's like a place where you can go like and find list of companies. It's more of like you have to do your own research.
Exactly. Yeah. I know on LinkedIn just the other day, I reposted, someone shared like top 10 websites for remote work, top 10 websites for like job searching. So even just going on LinkedIn and following certain people, certain types of recruiters who are quite, popular, they have a large following on LinkedIn. They usually post this themselves, or they often repost it as well. So even I believe if you feel comfortable connecting with one of us on LinkedIn, that might be really helpful too. Because we usually repost, I think I actually reposted that post that I saw. So I can go ahead and try to find it and type it in the chat here for everyone. But yeah, LinkedIn is definitely going to be a huge support in terms of your job search. So we have another question here. Oh, no, we don't. Sorry. Oh, yeah, we do. From Mankarat. How to find co-op for winter 2025. Is this the right time to apply for co-op for winter 2025? And which is the best platform to find co-op?
So I would say for winter 2025, yes, you can definitely start applying. You might not see a lot of postings, because I feel like everybody posts in kind of like September, like end of August, September, because the winter co-op starts in January. So then by then they will know if they are going to have an opening, like a co-op. So definitely like it's a good time to start now. I always like recommend like a full semester before your co-op starts. You should start looking. So we are kind of like mid-July. So I think like it's good time to start. And especially now, I think it's a great time to like reach out to companies, find companies online, and like find their hiring managers and like send them an email. Just say hi, like introduce yourself, tell them that you're like enrolled in like what program, that you're looking for a co-op in January, if they have any openings, to let you know. Because a lot of times like you will see co-ops online, but a lot of people are applying and the competition is like huge, and then they have to like pick one candidate from out of like 200 applications, right? So it's like very important to start a little bit early, and I think now it's a good time. You might not find like a lot for winter because it's like a little bit early for that, but like starting like September, you will see more postings, but I think now it's a good time to email hiring managers, to connect with them on LinkedIn, see what it's close like to where you live, right? Like message them, let them know it's a co-op, right? And most of the times they might not have a posting, but they might need support, and it works to them to hire a co-op student. So like do that, because when I was looking for a co-op, I was emailing people, and then like from there I was able like to find my co-op. Like I applied like on every job board, and I was not successful. So what I did, I started like emailing companies and emailing hiring manager, and then also asking hiring managers to share my resume with like their like group of people, like from like, let's say HR managers, they have like a community like of like HR specialists. So like I asked like if they don't have any openings to share my resume. So that's what happened. Like a company didn't have any openings, but they share my resume with their like group of HR in the area. And then one like HR manager like reached out to me because they needed a co-op student to help them at the reception, and they pretty much created like a job for me. I was receptionist / like HR assistant, and that was my co-op. So like you never know, like it's very important like to also do the work, not just rely on LinkedIn and Indeed. And I saw a question that says like what other like job boards that you can use other than LinkedIn and Indeed. So I would recommend go like on Job Bank, like see Monster. There are like a lot of like remote like positions available. There's like one job. Oh my goodness, Stephen, do you remember the very popular like remote job board? It was like job something. I don't.
It's not coming to me.
Yeah.
Not coming to me.
It's I don't like it starts with job, and then like it has like another word. So that's also like a very popular platform for like remote like roles. So just like like try like and see what is in there. ZipRecruiter, it's another one, right? I feel like when people post like they use ATS, and the ATS post the same job to like different job boards. So 99% of the time when you like see it on like LinkedIn and Indeed, it will be there, but you might find like some like websites where the job it's only posted there. So like that way it's good like to cover like all of the grounds, and like look like just like review all of the job boards. But definitely ZipRecruiter, Monster, Job Bank, those are like one of the they're also like a lot of really Glassdoor too. Glassdoor, it's acquired by Indeed, but like you can find like a lot of information on Glassdoor. Glassdoor is like very popular too. Do we have any other questions? Again, anything like resume, cover letter, interviews, LinkedIn, networking. We usually like want to start this job search with like asking you a question. What are your wins this month? Or also like what are your challenges? So if you want, you can like tell us a little bit about that, and maybe we can like help you. Maybe we'll be able to provide you with some advice. If not, like again, you can just ask questions about your job search.
Is anyone
We're
getting
here.
any like interviews? Because that's a good way to gauge. That's how I usually see with my clients. Like if they are receiving interviews and pre-screening calls, then that tells me your resume is doing its job, right? That you've tailored your resume well enough to get past the ATS and make it to the stage where you're receiving a phone call from the company to ask you some pre-screening questions. So if you're at that stage where you're getting some of those phone calls, you're getting the assessments sent your way, you're getting the second and third round interviews, then that's good news. That's exactly what we want and where we would like to be. But if you're not getting any callbacks, you're getting a lot of rejections, then that lets me know that we have to go back and do a little bit of work on the resume as well. One story that I wanted to share, this happened about maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago with one of my clients. They had an interview for a integrity analyst, and this specific employer asked the client to brush up on their star stories. So when you're going for interviews, that is going to be a huge, huge help in terms of you being able to explain, what worked for you. So I'll just put here in the chat another resource that is going to be really helpful for when you finally start getting those interviews. So let me just find it.
So while Tiffany is searching for the resource, there's like one question here: how to prepare and feel confident for an interview. I'm looking for co-ops, and it is a requirement in my college. Okay, so co-op is a requirement in your college. So this is what I suggest all the time and advise like job seekers to do when they prepare for the interview. So Tiffany mentioned the STAR method. That is like a really good, definitely check the article. So first, like I would say, make sure that you have answer prepared for the most basic questions. For example, like tell me about yourself. Why do you want to work here? Why should we hire you? Make sure that you prepare like a scenario based question, or like behavioral questions, right? So like most of the times, like they will ask, like, tell me about a time when you had like a conflict with your coworker. Tell me about a time when you didn't agree with like one of your manager's decision, and how did you approach it? So like just like try to like prepare answer for like this basic questions, because 99% of the time a few of them will like be they will ask you during the interview, right? They like make sure that you know like what are your strengths, make sure that you know what are your weaknesses, because they're not going to ask you what are your weaknesses now, but they might say like, is there an area that you might need support in? And then you will have to just like tell them like, oh, okay, maybe this is an area where like I'm improving right now and I might need support. So like they will ask you this type of questions, but you need to make sure that you showcase the skills that they're looking for. So when you go to an interview, you need to like sell yourself and tell them that you're the solution and you will like help them. Okay, do not like just like that's how you like present yourself. So when you come up with answers and when you prepare these answers, use the STAR method. Okay, so we'll need to start like with like a situation. So tell them, you know, like what happened. Tell them what was like the task that you had to complete, or like what was the thing that you had to work on. Then like tell them about the action that you take, right? So like S stands for like situation, T stands for task, A stands for like action. So tell them like what was the action, what did you do, you know, like to solve this problem, or like to help the client, or to help the manager, right? And then in the end, share the results. So this will help you like better, like, you know, like present yourself, and like, you know, like distribute, like share that information with the hiring manager. So like your answer will be like well structured and like not like long, so you're not going to find yourself like rambling, right? So it will be like well structured and practice at home. So once you like use the STAR method and you prepare your answer, you need to make sure that you practice at home, because the things that we are kind of like thinking when you like start talking to somebody, like those things are not coming out of your mouth. Okay, like other stuff will like come up, like where like your sentences might not be as structured as you thought they're going to be. So like you can ask a friend, like a spouse, a partner, like a family member to work with you, give them the questions, and then they will ask you the questions and you try to answer them. If the interview is in person, sit like across them so they can also give you like some advice on body language, because you don't want to like, you know, like have like a weird body position. You want to sit straight, you know, like, and look them where you like when you talk about, when you give them your answers, right? If it's a Zoom interview, schedule like a Zoom has like a Zoom call. Zoom has like a 40 minutes like a free call that you can have with another person, you know, like schedule it over Zoom so you can test your camera, you can test your internet, you will set up, you can see what angle works best, right? Make sure that the lighting is right. So like do all of these things before the interview, and then practice again with like with that person that can help you with the interview. But you need to prepare. First, you need to prepare answers, and how you can do that, it's by looking at the job description. When you review the job description, look at the qualifications and look at the responsibilities. So usually like every job description has a section that says what you will be doing. And then they have like a section like your responsibilities, right? And then there's a section about your qualification. So review that section. Let's say if they look for somebody to have Innovative skills. Guess what? There's going to be a question about that. If this role like requires you to have like customer service skills, guess what? There's going to be a lot of like situational questions where they'll be like, a customer is mad. What are you going to do? You have two people like mad at you right now and they're not satisfied with the service. How would you handle a situation? So like think like about those type of questions. Also now with like AI, it's like so easy. You can go on Google, you can type questions, let's say, you can type interview questions for customer service representative, and then like questions will come up. They're not going to ask you all of those questions, but you will get the idea what they might be asking you. Also, for everybody, always remember that it doesn't matter how much you prepared and how many questions you have, there's always going to be that one or like two questions that like you don't have an answer about it, you never like even think about it. But believe me, if you have enough experience, you would be able to come up like with something like right away. Okay, so don't freeze, don't get like discouraged, don't get scared. Always happens. They always have that one questions. They're like, oh my goodness, you didn't even practice, you didn't even think about it. But that is totally okay, because like if you are prepared, if you practice, you would be able to answer those questions. Okay, any other questions? Somebody says, you're the solution. That was a great advice. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're welcome. Like sometimes we don't even, like we are so scared when we go and like do an interview that sometimes we forget that we have the skills and the company needs us, right? So like it's always important, to tell them, this is what I can do for you. These are the skills that I have. I'm here to help you. Is there anything else that we can answer for you? I also just wanted to add, I always mention this when I do this like career development workshops. I know sometimes people like they're I don't want to use the word struggling, but like they find like challenging, like to find a job just because they don't have enough experience. Sometimes like the experience that they have, it's not enough. And it's so hard like to find a job. And I really don't like when people say, oh, like this person doesn't have experience. But if nobody's giving them an opportunity to show if they can do the job, how they're going to gain that experience, right? So I always recommend volunteering. There are a lot of volunteer opportunities right now. Most of them are remote, which is amazing. And the schedule is flexible, so you can do the work on your own time. So you can check volunteer match, you can check UN volunteer, you can check Charity Village, and they might have positions similar to what you're looking. So when you apply and if you get like the volunteer role, you can put that on your resume, and you don't even have to put volunteer beside the job description, beside like the job title, because now all of the volunteer positions, you do an actual work for them. It's not like, oh, I'm doing like, like just 1 hour. I volunteered for an organization called Save the Water, and you can check out Save the Water. All of their roles are remote, and I'm telling you, I was like working for like 10 hours sometimes per week, because there was like so much to do. I was leading their like recruitment team, and we had like people applying for jobs. We were conducting interviews, and that was an actual job that I was doing it for free. And then like put that on my resume. I was like keeping with my HR skills. There was like no gap like in employment. So that was like a really good thing that I did, and really helped me like develop my HR skills. So the volunteer places. So one is, I can type it in. So volunteer match. I'm just gonna type all of, whoops. So one is volunteer match. The organization that I volunteer for was like Save the Water. Then UN volunteer, you can check UN volunteer, and you can check Charity Village. Thank you, Tiffany. So those are like really great job boards where, not job boards, like those are like yeah, company posts volunteer roles on this like board. So you can definitely check them out. You can also like Google, just type like volunteer roles like near me, or volunteer roles like in the city that you live like in, right? Let's say if you're in Toronto, you can just put volunteer roles in Toronto and see what is out there. But just like a reminder, the volunteer roles are also very competitive. So there are like a lot of candidates that apply and they do the interview and they pick the person that like has like the best skills, like is the best fit. So like also they hire a lot on like like fit, like if the person is like easygoing, if they kind of like all like they're eager to learn, so they kind of like base their decision on that as well. But definitely like keep trying. It is like a great opportunity. You will like gain new skills and you can put that on your resume. Do we have any other questions? We have 20 more minutes. Anything about, I don't know, like LinkedIn, networking, job search strategists? I know that we talk about like different things, which was really great. But don't be shy, ask your question. You can even use the Q&A. If you don't want to type in the chat window or like unmute yourself and like yeah, so there are other options to ask your questions. So I have a question for you. How is the job search going? And how many jobs have you applied today? Let's see. Oh, okay. Questions about networking. Amazing. I will also read like your answers. So please like type them. I just want to know like like how many jobs you're applying per day? Like, are you getting like any response? Okay, so like question about networking. What is the best method to do networking? Do we need to message everyone on LinkedIn? All right, interesting. So I would say messaging people on LinkedIn might get you somewhere, but like a lot of people might not respond, right? If you just like send somebody an invite and just say like, hey, like I am, like I'm looking, we're in the same field and I would like to connect with you, people that like might like accept your invite, right? So like if you kind of like send them a note and kind of like let them know why you're adding. If you just like add people, a lot of times like they might not like accept you. Okay. So I think like networking is like more than just LinkedIn. So for example, I always say to everybody, especially if you're looking for a job, LinkedIn and Indeed and like the other job boards, it's not the only like source where you like search for jobs. Okay. You should definitely like network. And how you can do that. Right now, there are like a lot of events, like available in person. You can use Eventbrite if like there is like an association for your role, right? Like for example, like for HR, like there's like an HR association, right? So like become a member. They have like a lot of networking events. You can attend them, right? So attend those, like try to meet new people. Also, let's say if you go like to the dentist, if you go to the hairdresser, if like when you go to do your nails, like when you always talk to these people, right? So when they ask you, you can casually let them know that you're looking for a job. You will be surprised, but people were able actually to find a job because they're a dentist or like they are like hairdresser, like refer them because they know like so many people, right? So like I know somebody here, like when I was doing this like session with Devant like 2-3 months ago, when I was talking about networking and like talking to like the dentist, the like hairdresser, this person, like unmute himself and he told me that actually his dentist helped him find a job and he was starting that job the following week. So he said he did the same thing when he went to the dentist. They were like talking. He casually mentioned that he's looking for a job. The dentist asked like more information. This person provided information and then the dentist referred this person to like one of his friends. Like they were looking for, I don't even like remember what was the role, the job title, but this person did the interview, they liked him and they hired him. So I'm not saying that, oh, you're going to talk to your dentist and then boom, like you're going to get a job. No, but you need to make sure that you like do your part, you network, like talk to your like friends, friends of friends, like relatives, you know what I mean? People that you know that you're in your circle. There's so many people that sometimes they don't know that you're looking for a job. So sometimes like when we have family reunions, if I'm looking for a job, I'll be like, hey guys, just so you know, I'm looking for a job. If you know anybody, let me know. You know, like, or like your friends, or like, you know, like, I don't know, like parents of your friends, like relatives of your friends. So there are like so many people that you can leverage and you can tell them, hey, like I'm looking for a job, like please help me. Also, like go and attend those like networking events, because you will meet like-minded professionals, and then like you can connect with them, and who knows, maybe like in 2 months there will be an opening and they might like refer you. So those are like some ways that you can network, and that's how you can make contacts, right? You can add people on LinkedIn, but sometimes it's not successful. So it's important. So when you go to those in-person events, because the next question is how to start networking and make contacts. When you meet the person, you can always say, hey, like, do you want to follow, like, is it okay if I like follow you on LinkedIn? Or like if it's okay if you just like add you on LinkedIn after like you have like a conversation with somebody? It's totally fine. LinkedIn, it's all about business. And if you go and attend those networking events and you meet people and you have like a really nice chat, definitely like follow them. And again, you will become part of their network. And if they know your story, if they know that you're looking for a job, they might like refer you to somebody that is like actually hired. Okay, somebody says not good, as I have applied more than 200 jobs, got 3 interviews within 20 months. You know what? Like I understand your frustration, because like, yes, like it's probably like almost 2 years and you got like 3 interviews, but at least like you got like interviews, which is good. But I would say like try to see, like ask for feedback and see what they say. If they like send you a rejection, so you can work, you can use that feedback and you can work on that, right? If you feel like that it's been like almost 2 years and you just had 3 interviews, maybe like talk with like a career consultant or like a resume specialist to help you with your resume. Maybe you need to like practice a little bit to kind of like prepare better for the interview, right? Just like try to like leverage all of the like free resources out there. And then like if you think that you need like to like get a service and pay like a service, it's better like to do that as well, because it might help you to like get a job, right? Like it's when you job search, like it's like really hard. And I always say looking for a job, it's a full-time job, because you need to spend a lot of time job searching. So definitely like seek that, you know, like support, so you can get your, like you can find your job like soon. But just keep doing like what you're doing constantly, like attend workshops, like talk to people. I'm sure something will come along.
I just wanted to quickly, I know we were talking about ATS and a little bit about resumes, but if you have not already heard of JobScan, so it is free, but they only give you, I believe, about 5 attempts. So basically what we're doing with JobScan, it is an ATS, so applicant tracking system. What we're doing is, you know, we have our job description and we have our resume. So we've tailored the resume to the best of our ability. And this means the summary or the highlights of qualifications, as well as the chunk of work experience too. I've heard a lot of people who only update the summary or they only update the work experience. So when we say tailoring, we mean the entire resume for a specific job opportunity. So once you've done that to the best of your ability, what you're doing is you are either copying your resume or uploading it as a Word or PDF to JobScan. Once you've completed that step, you are copying and pasting the job description. And then what JobScan will do from that point is generate something called a match rate. So it's basically letting you know, according to ATS, how much of a match your resume is to the job description. And it provides a few pointers and tips as to what you could possibly include or remove in your resume to increase your match rate. So sometimes if you know, you might think you are tailoring and you are tailoring, but when you run it through an ATS, it might generate a different result. So sometimes, and I've even done this for myself personally, and it came back and my match rate was pretty low. So I was kind of surprised by that. So, and I'm not just saying this for the sake of saying this, I have seen positive results from using this tool. So it does make a difference. So try it out. It does give you 5 attempts. So once you've made a few changes based off of the feedback, you can always run it through again with those updates, and then you'll be able to see more and more every single time. There's also an extension that you can get for Chrome. It's called Job Analytics. So it's very similar to JobScan, but it's something that's already attached to your browser as you're applying for jobs. So those are free. Test them out. Let me know what you think. And hopefully that will kind of support you in getting to that next stage, which is the interviews and then offers.
That's amazing. Thanks, Tiffany. The only advice that I have for job scans, just to add, I would say do not copy and paste the whole job description, like not the about section, because sometimes what job scan does is like they will like pick up words from the about
Yeah.
section, and those are not the things that you should include in the resume. I would say just like copy and paste the responsibilities and the qualifications. So from there it will give you like the main keywords. I did that mistake. That's why like I'm just sharing.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for that. I can go ahead and just touch on a few events that we have coming up as well. So if you're already registered, amazing. Hopefully we will see you again. So next Wednesday, which is the 24th, there's going to be an immigration Q&A regarding PR options for low-skilled and trade occupations. On the 31st, there will be another workshop on finding a job in Canada. On the 7th, it's again a Q&A just like this. So if you have any other questions, maybe you just kind of wanted to sit back and observe this time, but next time around you've thought of a few questions you would like to put forward, please feel free to join on the 7th. And then on the 14th, there's a workshop called Employer Insights, which is going to be focused on financial literacy in Canada. So please feel free. The link is in the top right corner there if you feel like you want to register and be a part of those sessions.
We have 10 more minutes. Any kind of like last minute questions? Maybe we can talk, Tiff, a little bit about Kibi. I think that's the new.
Yes, I saw that on there and I was like, okay, let's get to that.
Okay, perfect. So like Devant has partnered up with Kibi, and it's like this really great platform where also like you can create like a profile, I think, and then like they partner with employers, they have partners. You can kind of like read a little bit more about like what they do and who they are, their resources. But I think it will help you. Like that is like a thing. Now they also have job postings, if I'm not wrong. So like you can find like some maybe job postings on here, and it's like a really good platform. Definitely like check it out. That is like another like job board, you know what I mean, another like resource for you. And as you can see here, they have like job seekers, employers, partners, our story, resources, and contact us. But I feel like you can like check their resources section, you can check who their like partners, who like the employers are like which employers are posting, and then I think you can create a profile, probably something similar like Indeed. You know how on Indeed you can create a profile. So I think they have kind of like a similar thing in here, so you can just like check their website, try to like sign up. That might help you, right? You might find like some great like job opportunities. Okay, like no questions. Did we answer all of your questions? That's great. Okay, yeah, we can talk a little bit about this too. So at Devant, like Tiffany and myself are career coaches, and you can go on the Devant website and you can kind of like learn a little bit more about us. We right now we offer one-on-one coaching, and right now we have a promo, so you can schedule a coaching session with us for $95 per hour. And during this session, we can like talk about we will have like one-on-one session, and we can talk about your resume, your job search, like LinkedIn, networking, anything that you might have. You can show us, like what you do. We can maybe like do like a little bit of like a mock interview, right? So like we offer these services, like there's like a promo. If you're interested, definitely like use the promo right now, like the promo code now. You can go on devant.ca/coaching and you can like see all of the coaches available, and then you can schedule sessions with them. There are also other services on Devant. I know they have like resume specialists, somebody that can review your resume, revamp the resume. So yeah, like just like check it out. Do you have a question? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go. I can read it. So might be a silly question. There's no such thing as silly questions, especially when it comes to job searching, because
True.
things are constantly changing. So we sometimes don't even know what is correct or not. So please feel free to ask away. Does appearance really matter for an interview to get hired? So that is a really good question. I would go ahead and say yes. I believe that is fairly important. Again, it depends on the field as well, but depending on your background, we want to present ourselves as a professional, right? We want to present ourselves as confident that we've done the work, not only to prepare and study up on the company, but also to show that we have an interest, that we want to work here, we want to be taken seriously as well. So you know, I used to do coaching with one of my other jobs, and even, you know, like certain things like with hygiene, for example, like we would ask, what do you do before you get to the interview? You know, and all of these things they do take into account. You know, it's unfortunate, but there's always that what is it called? The first impression, right? That is a huge deal, especially if you're going for an interview. This might be your one opportunity, right, to make a positive first impression on the hiring team to see if they are willing to go past, you know, the second round interview or the first round interview, and so on.
Exactly. And I just want to add, we're not like saying that, oh my goodness, you should go like and buy the most expensive clothes out there. Like not at all, right? All we're saying is make sure that you look professional. Don't go like with a messy bun or like a messy hair, right? Like don't go like in gym clothes. Like if you're applying to work at the gym, yes, but like any other place, like don't go like in your like gym clothes, like legging and just like a gym shirt, right? Like a nice pants and a shirt like will be fine, right? Like you don't want to also like overdress, but when you go, you want to look professional and kind of like when people say like put together, right? Like when you look professional, when you present yourself, they'll be like perfect. Like this candidate is like a really good candidate, presented themselves, they're very professional. Also, like Tiffany said, really depends on the job. Let's say if you will be working with clients, if all the time you will be dealing with clients, you're the face of the company. Like you will be the first person they will see, especially reception like roles, right? So you need to be presentable, and like during the interview you can kind of like get an idea and you can ask about the dress code for sure. Let's say if you're like going like to a manufacturing company, you don't need to wear like high heels, right? Like, or probably like very like casual jeans and a shirt, but still, you know, like to look professional, or jeans and like kind of like a t-shirts or stuff like that, right? But like if you work like go and work like in a corporate, right? Like downtown, like probably the dress code will be different. So like do your research definitely like before you go like and appear like in front of the interview. And if you're using like recruiters, most of the time recruiters will also tell you. Like I remember when I was interviewing like 4 years ago, when I was interviewing with like a law firm, and the recruiter sent me an email and they said they have like a very strict like dress code. Please like wear a suit when you go there. So I was like, okay, perfect. So like most of the times, like they will tell you, but like you can do your own research. Like just check the sector and then you can kind of like get an idea. But definitely like you need to look presentable. And it is important. Okay, perfect. We have like 3 more minutes. If you have like any other questions, feel free to enter them in the chat window. I think the session was like really great. We talked about like different things. We talked about resume, we talked about cover letter, networking, LinkedIn, Indeed, you know, like job search. So I really hope that you find this session helpful and we were able like to answer your questions, and you can apply the tips and tricks and, you know, like into your job search. I'm really wishing everyone, you know, like just like don't give up, like keep applying, you will get something. It's not easy, you know, like to get rejections most of the times. Okay, like I get that, I've been there, and it's like very discouraging, but please do not like get discouraged. Just like keep applying, you will find something. For some people takes like 3 months, for some people it takes 6 months, some people even take like year and a half. Like I work with clients where like somebody will get a job like this, and then I had a person that was like so great, and it took her like year and a half to find something. You just have to like not to give up, just like try different things and keep applying and have faith in yourself, and you will get something, I assure you.
Exactly. And then I think you already mentioned it, is just to be kind to yourself during this process. You know, if you are consistently applying and you are receiving rejections, you're gonna feel a little discouraged at times, right? It happens to all of us. But then you need to remind yourself, and I find looking at your resume to be very empowering, right? It's such a reminder of the skills, the qualifications, and the certifications that you bring to the employer. And just to remind yourself of that, right? Job searching is not easy at all, right? It's never been an easy process. So the fact that you even showed up here this afternoon says a lot about how willing you are to secure employment, and that you are eager to receive an offer.
Exactly. Okay, thank you everyone, have a great evening.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.